South Pole Station tour trip.
Right.
This
Yeah.
was post, this would have been post St. Michael's. And they were coming down to, maybe not post St. Michael's, it may have been pre-St. Michael's, with the big meeting at St. Michael's to discuss the redevelopment
Yeah.
of South Pole.
So this is like after the Metcalf and Eddie
After the
study
Metcalf
came
and Eddie
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
And they came out, I had mentioned to Peter in the galley one day, I said, well, you need to go modular. Why are you doing a built structure? That's not the way to build South Pole. So he packed everybody up on helicopters and brought them out. He didn't even tell me they were coming. All of a sudden I hear this army of helicopters coming, and they land, and I'm in there doing something. And the sport, I had the floors waxed. I wasn't letting anybody in there. I made them take all their boots off. Peter's at the door. I said, boots off, Peter. And he turns around and said, everybody boots off. It was kind of comical. He was funny about it.
Oh yeah.
And he came in and they did the tour, and he was looking at the building and all the equipment, and he says, this is what we need. We need this. So Peter was instrumental in making it happen. Eric made it happen at the lower level, but
Yeah.
Peter was the mind behind it. He says, this is what we need to be doing. We need the technology. We can't, and he said, we can't build that without having this. If we don't have this, why are we building that?
Oh, I made statements like that about South Pole Station. I got evil looks from people.
Hey, I remember, you build it and they will come.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Even the birthing building that I first built out there, before I built the equipment building, that came out of the operations budget, that 1,000 square foot living building. I had been in the Jamesway that blew away, so I said, we can't do this anymore.
You
So
couldn't get an official project for.
No, I bought that building out of I bought it in 2 cycles of an operations budget, and I sent it down, and I started putting it up out there with some help from Chris Lindenberg, and Dave Bresnahan cornered me. He says, what are you guys doing out there? I said, we're replacing the Jamesway. With what? I said, with a battery building. Where'd you get the money for that? Let's talk to Mickey. Mickey internally it was supported. I mean, I didn't go off completely rogue, but
Yeah. Well, we need to set this record straight on that, because I guess as Eric kind of aged, this mentality of him, of you being some sort of rogue agent, kind of got into his mind. It's like
I was rogue.
I kept telling him, well, Dennis did these things because he had to. Nobody else would give you the time of day, right?
I had a lot of, we struggled in the beginning. I mean, my first season down there, my office was the closet in the BFC where the microwave link was. I shared it with the radios. That was my office.
That thing?
That was our
You're
room. All
kidding.
our equipment was in there. I was in there. That's where Bill and I would share. We'd go upstairs. If Ann let us, we'd go upstairs and sit on the couch. The next move,
What year was that?
that would have been 1985. They
Holy.
had nothing before that. And then in 1986, 86 was still in there. 87, I convinced Art to let me set up my own Jamesway, and I put it up behind the EBC, right below the water plant. I went in there by hand, moved rocks, and I leveled it up, and I said, if I don't cost you anything and I do it on my own time, can I have a Jamesway? And they said yes. And they asked Eric. Eric said yeah. So I went up and found stuff up on those endless lines of stuff sitting up there. And I went down and I put the foundation and I put up a Jamesway. And then that would have been 1986. And that survived 86, 87. And then I found, actually Carl found the building, the red one up on the hill, building the one we were in for several years.
Oh,
there.
building 133.
133. That was a deserted Navy building. It
That
was
was
the
the
old
old-
transmitter building.
Yeah.
And it had collapsed and the wind had blown down part of it. It was a disaster. And Carl had kind of taken over a back corner of it where he could stock some supplies. And I said, no, we need to do better than this. So we went in and I went back to them and I said, if it doesn't cost you anything and I can find materials on the berms, can I fix it up? And they went to, I don't know who the captain was at that point, but they went down and said, can we have the building for real? And they said, yeah, do whatever you want with it. So I went up and cleaned the yard up, and I went inside, we put a roof on it, we painted it. It was another unofficial do-on-the-side project with no money. And we built the building. First thing I did was build Bill's office. I built it for him. And then we built the main room, and then I built the workspace. And then I went up in the line, I started looking for other pieces that were laying around, and I found whole buildings. So I said, back down to town to the chalet. I said, can I have those 2 buildings? So I dragged those down, and we abutted them to the back and joined them on, and that was the storage in the back, and built 133. And then that's, I don't know, are they still in 133?
Oh no, building 133 got demolished at some point in time.
Yeah.
It's the it's all industrial now, the ballpark. We've got a little Portacom comm shelter for wire and cable plant in its place.
Because, then there was the big plant. Of course, Telco was in the firehouse. I guess it's still there.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought the NEC, and that NEC is the same switch that went into all the stations. One of the good things about sort of being isolated and not having was we were able to sit down and look at a plan for the whole program, station to station. We didn't have individual people doing different things.
Yeah.
I was able to say, okay, Sipol was going away, but South Pole, I bought the same NEC for South Pole, for Palmer, and we were able to do them all the same. So that was a nice, because then I could take my technicians, and for McMurdo, and if, like for example, Al Oxton, if I needed to send him to Palmer, I didn't have to train him. He already knew Inmarsat, he already knew the PBX. It was like, Al, get on a boat. As a matter of fact, at one point, one of their technicians failed his physical and couldn't stay, and Al had went it over in McMurdo, and I got a phone call from Palmer, and they said the tech's got to leave, he can't stay, and I was scrambling to find somebody, and I asked Al, and he said, yeah, I'll do another winter. Because Al was always out there in left field to begin with, so another winter wouldn't have hurt Al. So I put him on, I sent him to Christchurch, put him on an airplane over to Puerto Arenas, and then he took a month off. The doctor made him take a month in between, and then
That was a good thing.
Yeah, and then he went down, and Al never came out of there for like ever. He loved Palmer.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was there forever.